It is Monday, October 26th. This is the Legit Betting Edge podcast, episode number 5. I'm Brian Benito with my partner, Scott Johnson. Scott, how are you today? It's a little chilly here in Vegas. How's it out there?
Yeah, we're finally getting a cool day here in Arizona. It's about 68 degrees outside. I think we're getting one day, then it's back up into the 80s, but I'll take that over the hundreds. But yeah, Monday Night Football, Game 6 of the World Series, and a crazy weekend in football. So let's get to it.
It's absolutely nuts what happened yesterday, especially at the end of the day. Big game in Arizona, your neck of the woods. The Cardinals pull out a victory. Let's get to real quick how they find out on your social media, and then we'll move on to recap what we saw.
All right. Well, on Twitter, you can find me at ScojoAZ Sports, and Instagram is ScojoPicks. And my website was going to be ready November 1st, but it is up and running now. You can go to ScojoPicks.com. I'm doing a lot of blogging out of there, putting that on Twitter. But you can go to my website and check out a bunch of cool stuff there. And that's how you can get a hold of me.
All right. Listen, I checked your website out over the weekend. It looked pretty good. I like those write-ups on those selections. Very nice. You can find me at @my_bankroll on Twitter and the same on Instagram. Right now, I'm just doing videos to give out plays on Twitter. If you've seen over the weekend, went 2-0. One on Saturday, one on Sunday. So when I do that, those are something you probably want to pay attention to. I probably won't shoot a video unless I feel very, very good about a game I don't like to lose. As a matter of fact, I'm a very poor loser. So with that being said,
you should be.
Let's get back and go over what we saw on Saturday and Sunday. Quick recap on your thoughts.
Well, Saturday, I'm going to apologize if anybody read my write-ups and tailed me and followed me on Saturday. It was a brutal Saturday for me. Just starting with the Pittsburgh game, that I don't mind losing a game when it's close. It sucks. Bad beats suck. Good wins are good, but just getting your doors blown off in 3 games over the weekend. Friday night I had Illinois. They got trounced. The Pitt game was an absolute bad read on my part. And the Minnesota-Michigan game, Michigan looks really good. Their quarterback looks really good. Minnesota was, missing some players. But, all in all, Saturday was not good at all. And then Sunday, I turned it around. Sunday was a good day for me. A lot better. Cincinnati, Cleveland game. The NFL, I keep saying it, the NFL is so close. I get the win in the Pittsburgh game with a missed field goal. I get a win in the Cincinnati game with a missed extra point at the end, but I lose the money line on the last second. It's just crazy we were talking about the Seattle and Arizona game, how that went back and forth, 15, 16 times. It seemed like it's just the NFL. If I come out winning on Sunday in the NFL, all my handicaps were good. I was pretty solid all around. So I was happy with Sunday.
Yeah. Well, we go back to, for me, it's like this. Look, if you were on the right side. Well, Pittsburgh was the right side of that game, of the Tennessee-Pittsburgh game. Sure, maybe he missed a field goal, and someone might say, "Well, you got lucky. Tennessee almost came back." Listen, they were behind the whole game. Pittsburgh was the right side in that game. As far as going back, last Thursday I had the under. Friday, we talked about it. I leaned Wisconsin. Saturday, Missouri outright as I predicted, and then Sunday. I had the Panthers plus the points. So I had a great weekend. Bottom line, though, is this. I do little knick-knack things that I don't post, and I have some players that I text and give them some extra stuff, things that I like. Sometimes they turn out right, sometimes they don't. But as far as, the podcast, I had a pretty solid weekend. I can't complain. And we'll get to tonight's play, what we think about that shortly. But again, when it comes to, let's say, we're talking about Seattle and the Cardinals last night. Look, here's my thoughts. You're right. It's very, very close. Penalty on a field goal opportunity that the Cardinals they pulled the 3 points off the board, go down and get 7. Then Seattle can't cover the game. It's over. So that one play was pivotal. But let's, Seattle's playing with fire all night. Russell Wilson is playing an MVP caliber season, but you come out of a bye, you got to be sharper than that. You're throwing picks. You're trying to force balls. And the Cardinals were ready. Give them credit. Just playing good ball right now. Hung in there. Went the distance with Seattle. And in the end, they had more steam than Seattle did. And Seattle just Too many mistakes to overcome, and too many turnovers from Russell Wilson. Even though Metcalf ran that one down, that pick should have been a pick six. He ran that thing down. Very nice speed. Seattle's got a lot of heart. They're one of the best teams in the league. But bottom line is, Arizona had their number last night.
Yeah, and after that game last night, I was looking, Seattle 5-1 or 5-0. They're 5-1 after last night. But I went back and looked at all of their games, and every one of their games. I mean, most of the games in the NFL are one possession games. So I mean, that's just the way it is in the NFL. But they beat Atlanta 38-25. That was, they pretty much dominated that game. But since then, Patriots, they give up 397 yards to Cam Newton. The Cowboys, they won 38-31. Dolphins 31-23. Vikings should have lost that game, but won that 27-26. I mean, before the Cardinals, the combined record of the teams that they played is 9-23. And that defense is giving up over 373 yards passing and 110 yards rushing. And they're giving up just about 29 points a game. So Russell Wilson has been Houdini with that team to have them won and playing at an MVP caliber. And that team is just going to have to outscore people because that defense is terrible. Terrible.
Yeah.
And now they've, the next, I think 5 games, they've got teams with winning records. They play the 49ers, they play the Rams, they play the Bills, they play the Cardinals again. Then they, go and play the NFC East. So, that's probably 3 wins there. But this division, the NFC West is going to be tough, man. Every team's over 500. So it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. But yeah, I'm a Cardinals fan. So I was really happy about that game and then pulling it out last night. I don't know. I woke up this morning and looked to make sure that they did win because I don't know. They actually Seattled Seattle. Seattle usually wins games like that when they have like no chance to win and somehow put a W up. Arizona did that to them last night. So I was happy as a Cardinals fan to see that happen.
Yeah, I mean, look, you're right. Russell Wilson is Houdini. Those stats are glaring, though, which you just announced. And I'll be honest, I was looking at the 49ers plus the points next week. I tried to do a quick glance on Sunday night, Monday, to see what might be available next week, what I might be looking at. And that is one of the games I will look at. I'll look to go with the 49ers. I'll look to. It depends if I get there or not. But I am looking at that, and I think it might be a good spot for the Niners. They're playing very well, coming back. They went to New England and just destroyed. And look, let's face facts. First of all, I think Tampa Bay is the best team in the NFC right now. I don't care. They blew away the Packers. And I think Tampa's, and then Antonio Brown's going to go down there. What are you kidding me? So, yeah. And Gronkowski's getting his legs underneath him. And bottom line is, who needed who more?
Right.
Belichick, Brady. It really, really looks like Brady, Belichick needed Brady a lot more and should have got some parts and pieces and put him around Brady in New England for a couple of more years because he knew he was going to play. Regardless of that, New England looks terrible. Cam Newton looks terrible. And I'll be looking to try to go with Buffalo next week against New England. I just think New England might be done.
And it's Belichick. I mean, I'm not going to knock Belichick. He is a good coach, but it's easy to be a great coach when you've got a great quarterback. So yeah, I mean, you're seeing. I mean, I know he had that one year where Brady got hurt, and I forget the backup that came in, and they went
Matt
11.
Matt
Castle, came in and they went 11-5, missed the playoffs that year at 11-5. But yeah, I mean, Cam Newton is. I think he's done. I mean, he looked terrible in that game. And like I said, Seattle gave up 397 yards to Cam Newton. So that just tells you how bad, Seattle's defense is and how good their offense is. I mean, it's two sides of the ball there. But yeah, Tom Brady, I'm going to kind of eat my words a little bit because I have said forever that Tom Brady was a system guy. He worked perfect in that system. And he is going to Tampa Bay at 43 years old with these weapons and looks phenomenal. So yeah, I agree with you. Tampa Bay is the team to beat right now. I mean, it breaks down to me. I think there's 4 teams that can win the Super Bowl. You got Tampa Bay, Green Bay, Pittsburgh, and Kansas City. I think the winners coming out of those 4. Those seem like the best 4 well-rounded teams. I mean, Baltimore. I don't think they can outscore teams like Kansas City and Pittsburgh. I think they would play a good game against Pittsburgh, but these teams that have all kinds of offense, I don't think Baltimore can compete with them. And I think the NFC boils down to Tampa Bay, Green Bay, and the AFC boils down to Pittsburgh and Kansas City. That's how I see it right now. So, That's
You
what
know, yeah, and I like that. And this is a good conversation. We didn't talking about this, but yeah, when you look at these stats, just like you looked at Seattle's games they played after this, you know, for bettors, it's always good to go back and take a look and just kind of see what you see, and you know, look at the records of these teams, see who's winning and who lost who and who they beat. Because you're right, going back to Seattle, they could have lost to the Vikings over there, and so. You know, you look at the strength of schedule. You look at these teams. You look at the Saints. Look, the Saints yesterday. Teddy Bridgewater went in there and bombed away on them, and they could have won. They could have won that game if he didn't take that sack. They might have tied it, went to overtime.
They still almost made a 65-yarder. Holy crap!
Yeah, he fell like a foot short. Yeah, he would have had a record. If he was in Denver, that ball would have went through. So you know, yeah. So funny stuff. Great day in football, and I think going forward, there's a real good opportunity for betting against the public this week in the NFL. So there's going to be some public bettors that are going to lay heavy on some games, and I think it's a good week. You're going to look to go against the public on one or two of these games that are really going to be marquee games. That's my thought. So that's what we have there. You know, and since we're on this, why don't we talk about, you know, just kind of I know we differ in betting philosophies a little bit. Why don't you talk about how you go about your business, and then I'll kind of chime in on mine.
Yeah, you know, I put a write-up on my website about my betting philosophy. And look, if you have a betting philosophy that works, then, you know, stick with it. I've tried all kinds. But over the years, I put kind of my own system together. I'll handicap games. I'll put my numbers in. You know, I'll look at trends. I'll look at numbers. I put all that stuff together. I put it into this formula. And then when I get the formula, it gives me a number. And that number will tell me whether it's just a no play. And then I have a unit system that I use from, you know, 1 to 5, and, you know, my units are $200. So if I play a 1-unit game, I'm playing $200. If I play a 5-unit game, I'm playing $1,000. And that's what works for me. And over time, you know, my percentage in my 5-unit games is, you know, higher than my 1-unit games. I know some people are out there like, look, a game's either good to play or not good to play, and I'm not going to knock that. That you know, that works for you, then do that. I do what works for me, and it's been very successful for me. I've made money over the years doing it, and that's the system that I've rolled with about the last 5 or 6 years. Is just the 1 to 5 unit system. I'm not a whale guy. I don't go out there. I mean, every once in a while, if I feel, you know, perfect example was the game that the Lakers clinched in. To me, there wasn't a better. I mean, nothing is ever 100%. You know, 5 guys could get hurt in the first quarter, and your bet's dead, but for me, that was like a 99% cover game for me, and so I bet a little bigger on that. But I very rarely will I do that. I usually stay with the 1 to 5, and like I said, my units are $200, and that's what I roll with, and it's been very successful with me. I'm never going to knock anybody's betting system, but you know, that's how I do it. That's how I put my games out, and that's the value that I give to each game.
Yeah, you know, I've read a couple of sports betting books, gambling books, sharp books, etc. For myself, I know I do things a lot different than a lot of people, and that's because I didn't start the same way as a lot of people. You know, just kind of stumbled my way into it, guessing and taking shots and whatever when I was younger. Bottom line, though, is I told you earlier. I mean, I'm the worst loser there is. I'm a poor loser. You know, if I lose my marquee game of the day, I'm in a bad mood, and I'm like, man, how did I lose that goddamn game? So, you know, so. As a result, I like to bet less games. Now, I'll scour the games, looking to mow some lawn, looking to try to, you know, find. I'll try to find, you know, 5, 6, 7 games. But if I can't find sure games, I'm certainly not going to give out the games to the players. So right now, what you're seeing on Twitter is when I shoot these videos, I'm almost dead sure about these games. So, you know, they're hitting at a very high clip now, and I'm reading things properly. Now, am I going to win them all? No, I'm not going to win them all. But bottom line is, I hate to give a game to a player and lose. And so that's why I bet less games. And that's always been my philosophy. And so, you know, if I feel good about a game, I'm going to put whatever I want on it. I'm not going to – a lot of guys will do, you know, units and stick to the flat unit. And that's great because a lot of guys play a lot of games. I'm not that guy. So I'll go more on a game if I like it. I'll tell a player to go more on a game. And it just depends on what their threshold is for betting. And my threshold is a little different. And everybody's threshold is what it is. Someone's betting $100 a game, great. If you can bet, you know, I've got guys that bet $5,000 on some of the games I've given them. And no problem. Hey, okay, you say it's 5,000, and they put the money on it. So, but again, it's all the threshold. It's all the appetite that the bettor has. It's not really me. I just gauge what they can do. And if they're a client of mine, then I have them do what they're comfortable doing, and they don't jump outside those boundaries. For myself, again, less will always be more. I can talk about every game, like we do we reviewed 8 games on Friday over the weekend. And if I'm not mistaken, I chose I would have been 6-2 behind the spread of all of them. But bottom line is, I got an opinion on a game. Sure, am I going to play it? That doesn't necessarily mean I'm going to play it just because I have an opinion on it. So that's kind of how I do it. If you have any questions about what I do, you can definitely send me a message on @my_bankroll on Twitter. A lot of people do. And okay, so let's talk about Game 6 of the World Series last night. Kershaw comes in and throws a pretty good game. And I don't know if he redeems himself for all the mishaps that have come, unfortunately, during his starts during World Series games or playoff games in the past, pennant races also. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, no, I'm again, I live in Arizona. I'm a Diamondback fan, so I never want the Dodgers to do anything. But I'm happy for Kershaw. He's had some bugaboos in the playoffs, and for him to pitch 2 solid games and then to get 2 wins, I think I'm happy for him. I'd love to see Tampa Bay win Game 6 and Game 7 and keep the misery going for Dodger fans. But yeah, with Kershaw, I mean, tonight you got Snell going, and they're going to go with Gonsolin again. So Snell pitched well in Game 2, but he wasn't able to get out of the 5th. This Dodger offense is good, so I don't know if he can slow them down enough, and if Tampa Bay can do enough on offense. I'm on the Tampa Bay side tonight. I'm gonna play Tampa Bay on the money line plus 120. Probably not going to touch the total, but I like Tampa Bay to push it to a Game 7, and then you're going to have Buehler and Morton going in Game 7. So I think I'm rooting for a Game 7, and I'm running with Tampa Bay tonight.
Well, you get Snell in there, and he's the perfect guy to do this. You redeem himself for Game 2 if he can. If he can't, you went out with your best guy pretty much, right? So you can't really complain about that. Then if Game 7 goes, all bets are off. You throw anybody you have to on that mound to just get a victory, right? So that's what you do. They might even do some of that tonight to try to get a victory if Snell falters early. But the Dodgers had Game 5, pretty easily, and you kind of expected that after the Rays and all the drama of Game 4 for them to come back and come over the top in the 9th inning. So, but this has been a great series. I am happy for Kershaw. You want to see somebody who with that much talent, who's had that many wins, who's been that good for the league. You want to see him do well in a tough spot like he was in last night, and I think he acquitted himself well. Did he exercise the demons of years past? I mean, your last memory is the best memory. Maybe, maybe not. That's all for other fans Dodger fans actually to debate, because I'm not a Dodger fan. But bottom line, I do hope the Rays win tonight. I hope it does hit a Game 7. That would be very dramatic, and I would definitely tune in for that.
Yep, I agree, and but I will be watching Monday Night Football. So
yes,
I'll be flipping back and forth.
Yeah. So we have the Bears, which are playing very, very well. Were they 5-1 right now? They're 5.
Yep.
5-1. I want to make sure I said that right. 5-1 headed into the Rams. Lines at 6, open to 5.5, creep to 6. A lot of money on Chicago plus the points from the public at least. Totals at 44.5. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm probably going to be on the total in this game. I think these are two of the better defensive teams. Last week, Goff proved, if you can put pressure on him and make him make decisions, past that first read, that he struggles. So Chicago's coming in. I mean, this is an elite defense. Chicago, their offense struggles. I don't know if they can put up enough points to win this game or even cover it, but I know that defense keeps them in every game. So I'm leaning towards the under in this game. Haven't done anything. I do lean Chicago to cover, and the only reason I lean Chicago to cover here is I put something on Twitter this morning, and I saw this, and this applied to the San Francisco New England game yesterday, and I'm going to look over here because I got to read it. So when a home team is off a loss as a favorite, LA went into San Francisco as a favorite and lost, and then the road team is off a win as a dog. So Chicago, Carolina, they were the dog and they won that game. There's been 29 scenarios since 2010. Since 2010, and the 4-25 to the road team covering, or to the home team covering in the last 29 games. So 4-25, 13 points. So that trend right there really leans to Chicago. So, but but also you look at, Chicago under Nagy, they're 7-3 against the spread in prime time, but the Rams are 6-2 against the spread in primetime games, and the Rams are 7-1 against the spread in their past 8 losses. So, there's a lot of trends there that you can look at. That first trend that I was reading, that did apply to the San Francisco New England game yesterday, and the road team covered that game easy. So I mean, that's something that you can put in your handicap. I just don't know if Chicago can score enough points against this Rams team to cover this 6 points. So I'm probably going to stay off the side. My bet is probably going to be on the under in this game, and I'm probably be watching it and might do some stuff live in this game to see how maybe the flows go in the first quarter. But that's where I'm leaning in this game.
And that's a tremendous stat. 4-25, you said, is that what it is?
Yeah, 4-25. So when the home team is off of a loss as a favorite, and the road team is off a win as an underdog, the home team is 4-25 against the spread in those games. So
right.
That means the Rams, or the Bears would be, the side according to that trend. So
I understand what you're saying.
So.
Yeah, and if we bring New England in as one of those statistics, right, one of the losing statistics, we have to think about New England's not playing very well. So, but the Rams have played very well this year, and I think they're going to come home and cover this 6. I think Chicago gets that victory last week, and they got that after they come back to beat the Bucs. I think they run out of gas a little bit tonight. I think their offense runs out of gas. I think the Rams are a little bit pissed off. I think the Rams front 7 is going to get after Foles. I think Foles might make a few mistakes, and I just think the Rams are going to score enough points to cover that 6. Is it going to go over the total? I'm not sure, because I don't know how much Chicago is going to score. I think the Rams are going to score plenty, though. I think they'll get in the 20s. That's my thought there. But I do think I think that the right side is the Rams minus the 6. And again, you have some of the money coming in on Chicago, and the Rams. The line rose up a half point. And I don't know what it's going to do between now and game time, but I will. I'll take it minus 6, and I think they're going by a touchdown. That's how I will roll on tonight's play.
Yeah, that's my worry with Chicago is just the offense. Do they have enough offense to to cover that, and especially against the front front 4? Like the Rams up front are
Aaron Donald's the beast, yeah.
So and they can cover. So and Foles, he's I know he's won a Super Bowl, but I don't really trust him. So I would lean Rams if I was going to bet here. That trend. With that trend, like I said, I'm probably off the side here.
Right.
At all.
Hell of a trend, though. Some people would go nuts with that trend. So,
yep.
On Twitter, some people go nuts with the trend. But bottom line, I do like the Rams in this game, and so real good analysis there. All right, so let's kind of close this up today. What are you looking forward to? You can watch these 2 games tonight, and then we'll be back on Wednesday. Let's talk about just real quick where they can find you on social media and just kind of roll it out.
Yeah, once again, go to my Twitter page at ScojoAZ Sports. I'm usually tweeting during games and putting a lot of stats out there. And now that my website is up and running, most of the times when I put picks out, I'll be putting it out from the website. So you'll see my logo up there. Just click on that, and it'll take you to my picks and my breakdowns of the game. And then I will start Instagram. I've already put a couple out there, but Instagram, you can find me Scojo Picks. I'll be putting videos and stuff out there. So that's where you can find me on social media. Come chat with me, follow me, and let's have a good time betting.
Yeah, sounds good. I see you guys on Twitter. I appreciate that. I know we're going to have a Twitter chat tonight also with Mikey, and we'll just kind of talk about what we think about this game, kind of continue what we're saying here, and just kind of roll with it about a half hour before game time. So make sure to join us on that. If you are watching this, make sure you tune in for that. We appreciate you. You can find me at @my_bankroll on Twitter. I'll be there tonight on the chat, and we will talk to you in episode 6 on Wednesday. Have a good evening.